all the other nations in Avatar: The Last Airbender sucked. Think about it for a second. The Fire Nation was able to do so much damage that the other nations just had to chill. They didn't even try to get together. They didn't even try to fight until the Avatar came back. For 100 years, the Fire Nation had the world on lock for 100 years. Barely any difficulty. And I finally figured out why this happened. First, let's take a look at what made the Fire Nation so strong. And one thing is that the Fire Nation had education, which led to innovation. Think about it. When they went to the Fire Nation, they had a school, and no other nation that we saw besides Ba Sing Se, which I'll get back to later in the video, did school even get mentioned. They were out here teaching kids music, history. Even though it was propaganda, it was still history. Kids were learning from the past. Even though we only saw maybe 3 classes with Aang, we can assume that they had other classes like workshop, science, or other things that could lead to more innovation in the future. So by teaching the kids, they were able to have more people get interested in certain subjects, become more loyal with the propaganda, to want to build stronger things that help their country, leading to innovation into the drills, the tanks, things of that nature. Now let's look at the other nations. In comparison, they fumbled the bag compared to the Fire Nation. Their tech was the exact same for years. Perfect example, Omashu. In 100 years, the delivery system, their armor, the houses looked the exact same. How? In 100 years, how did nothing change? Everything looked the exact same. Then look at the water tribes. The northern tribe was still building snow castles, and the southern water tribe was chilling in ice huts. The air nomads, they were vibing in the sky, but they weren't exactly building tech either. They're nomads, so they weren't out here just teaching kids how to build stuff. They were teaching kids how to make air balls and food. Why does this matter? If people aren't going to school, they're not being taught to innovate. All they're doing all day is working on their farm, becoming soldiers, or just doing other forms of physical labor. With no school, innovation becomes slower. Maybe like in the military, they're doing their own thing, but out of like the people who aren't soldiers, usually it's like scientists, engineers that will come up with something that can make the whole country, the whole city better. But if they're not going to school, all they're going to do is know how to farm, become soldiers, and things of that nature. So making the whole city, whole nation just stay stagnant. And the crazy thing is, all this could have been prevented, but Ba Sing Se dropped the ball. Think about it for a second. Ba Sing Se actually had universities. They had schools. They were a wealthy country. If they decided to become part of the war effort earlier on, they could have rivaled the Fire Nation. Why do you think the Fire Nation was so keen on trying to destroy Ba Sing Se? It's because they had the ability, they had the resources to teach people, have more scientists, engineers to develop things that could really help the whole world and stop the Fire Nation. Could they have also did what the Fire Nation did and took over the world? Absolutely. But again, it's like America, Russia, and China, and all these big countries who have nukes. No one's gonna do anything with the threat of, if we move wrong, we're gonna get nuked. That's what Ba Sing Se and the Fire Nation could have been. We both have power. We're both gonna lose people. Let's just chill, help each other out, build our own countries up, and let's keep everything peace. Let's keep everything chill. But no, they dropped the ball, decided to hide out, and just get cooked by the Fire Nation, by a 14-year-old girl, by the way. So those are my theories on why the Fire Nation was able to have the world in a chokehold for 100 years. Let me know your thoughts. Like, comment, subscribe. See you next time. Breathe air, and Happy New Year.